sir. How are you doing? There we go.
Hello?
Sorry, sir. How are you doing today?
Hey, good, thank you, boss. How can I help you?
I'm doing very good. I am calling on behalf of client.
Mm-hmm.
I am replacement for Jessica. How are you?
Really good. I'm really good, sir. Respectfully.
Okay, very good, very good. How can I help you today, sir?
Well.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Sorry,
I hear you
sorry.
nice and clear.
Go ahead.
No, it's all good. So you're on behalf of Jessica, right? So like you're familiar with the business she and I did, correct?
I don't know too much, sir. I get information. I give information.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll try and be simple then. I was going to tell Jessica that
Oh no.
maybe our visits could.
Jessica,
Oh,
she's no more, sir.
okay. Well, that's disheartening, but that's okay. That's okay. Well, what I was going to tell Jessica's boss is
She had a very nice house.
she did, and it's it's a big loss. Let me tell you. You know what I'm saying? The world reels in agony from the loss of Jessica and her us. But I was going to hopefully tell her through her boss that maybe it would be possible to get some more frequent orders. And her boss might probably
One second.
think that that's crazy.
One second.
Take your time. Take it.
Hey, how you doing, boy?
Hey, boss man, real good.
You needed to talk to me.
I did.
How can I help my young gazelle?
All right. Listen, boy. I spoke to my boys. We have a plan. To the best of my knowledge, as of now, we are the only distributors that will be selling full, complete packages of weapons. So I'm talking guns, magazines, and bullets. Everybody so far sells maybe 2 at a time, maybe 1, but we're looking to outfit people with what they need on the day and have it ready to use that day. We have 20,000 bullets on standby. And Big Boss, I'm unaware if you know this, but we are also very capable of getting very large quantities of magazines personally. So we have infinite magazines on standby. The only problem is our guns, right? People put in orders, and the orders we're chewing through. We are chewing all of the M16s I was given are already gone. But there's a little problem, Big Boss. You might think just buy more, but the problem is I don't have the money to front that many guns, right? I was hoping that potentially there could be more frequent orders on a maybe like a little bit of a smaller scale, right? Still the same amount over the same period of time, but delivered in more frequent increments.
Unfortunately, what you be asking for there, my gazelle, is not something that very possible. You see, here's the reason I needed to project for you why you need to be trying to buy them more in quantity. Because these shipments that we get, they be coming very infrequently themselves. So, if you be telling me, oh, mister, I need 100. I don't even got the parts to do the 100 until they come in and then take a week to put together. Is that making sense there, brother?
Okay, I understand, mister. I understand.
So if you tell me every week you want 50, I'll be able to do that, but I cannot. How do I put this? I is not in control of some of the component.
Okay. And listen, I'll be the first to admit, I have a feeling that through maybe it's different means, maybe you've got a different contract or whatever, but my magazines that I have, my orphans, which is me, I'm my own orphan working on.
You're an orphan,
So
boy.
I am an orphan. I am an orphan. I work in a factory, big boss, by
Based on my
myself.
intel, you ain't be no orphan, brother.
I certainly feel like one. I certainly feel like one.
How old are you, brother?
27, sir.
That not be an orphan, brother. Your hands be too big to be making a Kalashnikov.
Well, exactly, and that's why they got me on the entry-level loser work, like making Kalashnikov magazines. That's what they got me on. Anyone can do it.
So what you're trying to say is that you can only afford to be buying 50 at a time.
Okay, listen, I'm going to be completely honest. I could do more than 50, but the only problem is, big boss, and I mean this with all due respect, if I buy 200 and I paid for them, selling all those 200, by the time I was done, the customers buying them would be getting a product with, a fifth of its life gone. And I just can't bring myself to, and my boys, my boss.
Let me explain something to you, brother. These weapons used to oxidize in 4 weeks' time. And I made sure that they lasted an entire 2 months. And that go for everybody. That's right, your boy got a lot of pull like that. And as such,
I believe it.
If they end up rusting, then they rust. But let me put something this way, Mr. Manx. By the end of all of this, there are only going to be 3 distributors, not the 8 that currently is. And as such, your customers ain't got a choice. They either coming to you with something that might be a little rusty, or they ain't going to have nothing at all.
Okay, understand. That certainly helps.
Now,
My next
once again, let me break this down to you one more time, brother. As of Monday, we has moved approximately 900 Class 2 throughout the street. 900, brother.
Okay.
And so
can I ask,
like, reduce
since that started, like since when? How long has that been?
Less than a month.
Okay.
So, exact approximation, hard to say, as we had our operation about 2 months ago. However, there was a lot of things that prevented us from beginning our business.
No, of course, I understand. So roughly a month, how many guns? 900?
Roughly. But
okay,
I want you to focus on the thing that's mostly important. If we've been able to move about 900 and people still be thirsty, that means if we bring down to 3 distributors, then they realistically can move 200 each.
In the span of 2 weeks to match the shipments?
At the current rate they be selling at, yes.
Okay.
Is this making sense to you, brother?
It does. If I'm allowed, I want to give my opinion, right? As someone that is buying, distributing, and using these Class 2s. I think the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks, we are going to experience like a decline in the amount of people buying.
They're going to be calling the saturation.
Yeah, it's going to get incredibly saturated.
Because I think you'll be very hyper-focused on this 200 number. The intent here is that I need my gazelles to be able to be prepared for 200 if the time comes. I can't be working with somebody who may be out of money. All of a sudden, you get raided or something happen to you, all of a sudden you ain't got money for nothing. I need your capacity for 200. Does not mean that every one of your orders be at 200. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Very, very clear, Big Boss.
All right. So, let me run it back to you this way. Realistically, the shipments will be once every 2 weeks. That is not something that can change until things change further up the top.
I understand.
Now, roughly what is your throughput every 2 weeks?
Our throughput every 2 weeks, as of now, we are selling I think we've been doing maybe like 25 a week, roughly, I would say is a comfortable number. But it wasn't really something that we were trying to do actively because, you know, again, we didn't have many to spare. You know, we bought a lot for ourselves originally. But now, especially if the demand's going to go up, and since we now have the bullets and the mags to sell as like a complete finished set, I think we could very easily we could sell 100 every 2 weeks easily. I know that for a fact.
This is where you need to be sitting back, brother, and say to yourself how much we willing to pick up, how much we think we can move, and then make your decision based on that, brother.
I understand. Every time we buy, a portion of them are ours. If I bought 200, I could sell 100 of them in a week, and me and my boys would use 50 of them in a week. Or 2 weeks. You know, we could sell 100, use 50. And then that other 50 would be leftover that we would then have to, you know, add into the backlog. Or, you know, try and, you know, just get rid of anywhere we could. That's possible, very easy. The only thing that isn't possible today is $10 million to front those guns. Like, that isn't possible. But distributing them is very easily.
I don't think I think you may have misunderstood our conversation early on. That 200 number, your objective, brother. If that take you 3 week, 4 week, then it take you 3 or 4 week. But to give you an idea, everybody be competing.
Yeah, I understand.
To give you a rough estimate, we already have one individual already willing to buy 200. Now, this is not to say that he's not going to run into the problem you be describing. Some of those start to get a little oxidized. However, that's going to be the nature of the game, dear brother, until a better solution come through. You see, my little orphans be working on some nice little cases. Those cases, perhaps when the case be open, all the oxygen start to come inside. A case that you need to be opening before the weapon be ready to use. But that is something that may or may not see the day of light. But that come alongside the business.
Okay. Listen, Big Boss, I'll tell you this. Could I move 200 or so guns in 2 weeks? Yes.
Forget 200. I think you're getting wrapped up on the 200. Can you move?
Well, listen, can I move a fuck ton of guns? Yes. Yeah. We can move a fuck ton of guns. Every week, we can do. Guaranteed. Are we going to be one of the three? Hey, yeah, you know, God willing, maybe. But we can do it. I know that for a fact.
Just remember, this be a competition. Now, with that said, I noticed you sent me some videos. Tell me more about that, brother.
So, listen, one of my boys, I'm going to just keep it straight with you, is a serial killer. He is a serial killer. So, when I told everybody about the jobs we had, I'm going to be real. Nobody was about that. You know, nobody was going to go out there and shoot each other. We weren't doing it. Except for my one boy, the serial killer. I gave him 3 hot guns, an M16, an AK, and an AK Mark II. And in those videos, which were kind of difficult to post on the Twitter by the nature of them being videos, he tested the range and, you know, effectiveness at the gun. So, you know, the M16, you know, how many shots does it take to, you know, penetrate somebody's vest and put them down? The M16, how many shots at a distance of 200 meters does it take to penetrate their vest and put them down? So that's what it is. It's close range, long range, every gun to the chest. That's what he's collected.
And so with everything that you found, brother, have you noticed that the weapons be not working the way they used to?
Some of the weapon, it's hard to say, right? You know, like you never know with manufacturing. Like maybe one day they're better or worse, or who knows? But they are different, yes. It feels like they take a lot more shots to the chest, especially at a distance. I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was something like 11 shots to the chest from 100 meters with an M16, and like 16 shots with an AK. I mean, if you went and looked at the videos, you could double check, but it's quite a lot. It is really quite a lot. It feels like the caliber on those bullets is some fucking dog water. Not gonna lie.
Okay. That is something we will speak with our orphans with. As for the bigger conversation, like I said, some of that outside of our organization's control. Now, it's not to say that one day we may not be able to do something like this, but from the very top, these drops are not going to be happening. But probably every 2 weeks make more sense. Now, I don't know what kind of work you do over in your basement. But if I were to make a... Let me ask you something, brother. What you using to put your magazine together?
I'm using, materials off the street and magazine
And how
housing.
many you be using?
Magazine housings? In a week, maybe like 600 or something a week. Something like that.
How much is each magazine, brother?
In materials or sold value?
In material.
The average materials, because it varies, some mags are larger. The average but majority of the mags, so like the larger mags, which we sell the most of, 762, 308, all that, are 120 per mag. So it does get up there. Just today, I have 6 hours worth of work to do in the basement, and that equates to around 40,000 materials just today in the next 6 hours.
I think the real problem that you might be... And how often are you getting the components necessary to put these things together?
Sometimes every 5 days, sometimes every 2 weeks. It just depends. It really just depends. And the biggest problem is, Big Boss, is that my housings oxidize very quickly. So I can't stock up on a fuck ton of them and use them as I need. I stock up on enough.
Dealing with, brother?
Oh, it's a fucking nightmare, Big Boss.
Imagine
it's so bad.
you be working with 600 of them at once, brother, because everybody trying to eat.
It's terrible. I like thousands of magazine housings have just withered off the face of this earth, and there's nothing I could, because there's not enough time in the day.
Here's what I can tell you. I'll see if I can work with the orphans, see if there'll be a better solution. But I cannot reveal just about everything, brother. I think you may have some understanding what we be trying to go through, but it's not as simple as these magazines, if that making sense.
No, I get it. And we can't just click our fingers and make things happen, I'm
Interesting.
Not God, neither are the orphans.
All right. Well, question for you, brother. What happened with the Justice?
The Justice, I got my head serial killer on it. I hope
Very
it hasn't been a
good.
week since our last conversation, but he's on it.
Because let me make this clear. We not in this business for just making money. None of that money important to us. You see where we from. We live and die by the sword. And we looking to bring down the establishment, brother.
Damn fucking straight we are. Damn fucking straight.
We be talking soon. Actually,
All right, Big Boss.
so how much you looking to buy for next week?
Realistically, we can afford 100. Realistically. I have one question though, and again, I expect this is a no. Is it possible that we can get any more guns any sooner? Any? Because I have 20 already sold, but I don't have the guns
How
to sell.
soon is soon?
As soon as possible. Really.
Perhaps by Monday. I think if we take
Perhaps
a
by
look...
Monday?
How much you looking for by Monday?
By Monday? If I get another 50 by Monday, and then I'll use that to figure out how many we could sell on the consistent every 2 weeks. It's just the hardest part is we get orders from people and I have to turn them away because I'm waiting for a delivery from you, which I'm sure you understand.
It sounds to me like your main problem is you don't knock at the liquidity.
Yeah, realistically we don't, because I didn't. If I had bought 200 from you the first time, I would have been fine. But I started slow. And now that people actually realize that selling and buying is easy, they put in orders and I'm stuck waiting for shipments every 2 weeks. So I need to get out of we're in debt, basically. We're in debt, guns that we haven't got to sell. And by the time I get them, they're immediately sold, which means that we need to buy more for personal use. Basically, I'm in debt AKs to people.
Are your boys taking your guns?
Our boys take them? Yeah, we use them. I'm gonna be real. We use them. We sow chaos with them. We use them more freely than anybody else in the city. I tell you, man, we be going through them like fucking hotcakes.
Let me see what I can do.
All right.
Yeah, I will see what I can do. I know promises. You have to understand, like I said, I gotta be working with the others as well. And
Of
so
course,
if
of
I
course.
be giving 50 to you, they got to be ready. And if they,
Of
how
course.
much, what 50 of how much you looking for?
I'm thinking like 30 M6, maybe like 35 M16s and 15 AKs, something like that.
I'll be in touch tomorrow. I will see how much
Alright.
I can get a hold of.
All right, thank you,
All
Big
right.
Boss. Let me know.
Take care, brother.
Hmm.